See, the thing about it is these guys are chasing cat, and the thing about it is they are going after females that are not attracted to them. I've talked about this in several videos as of late because it's a multifaceted problem. It's problems in itself, and this problem of these thirsty guys, of these thirsty men chasing females that don't want them, it actually affects other men too. I think we've all heard instances of, how simps ruin it for the rest of us and they messing the game up, stuff like that. And I'm going to get right into it. This is Tarek Talks. Let's talk about how these guys, how thirsty men ruin it for the rest of us, ruin it for the rest of the fellas. And the reason why this is because I'm going to put you guys through a scenario or an analogy, so to speak. So let's say there is a queen, okay? There's a queen, and she has peasants. She has peasants begging for her mercy, begging for her attention, begging for her approval. But first and foremost, begging for her approval. I think this is the number one thing that we can use here is the approval. So what does this subconsciously do? Not only for women, but for men as well, for humans as well. Okay. But it inflates the person's ego. In this case of the analogy, the queen. It inflates her ego because people that beg are usually under the person that they're begging. The beggar is always under the person that they're begging. It's just the natural order of things. And this is subconsciously what happens. This is subconsciously the dynamic that goes on. And that's why a lot of guys, you see them on the internet and stuff talking about, oh, these twos, they use number systems. Not a big fan. I don't really use those. But let's just, for argument's sake, they're like, oh yeah, twos think they're tens and they think they're Beyonce. Harambe thinks she Beyonce. They stuff like that. And the reason of this is the crux of it, the underlying issue is not even the girl herself. Because think about it like this, guys. If you are a dude, let's say you look like Quasimodo off of The Hunchback. Let's say Quasimodo in a parallel universe far, far away from here, in a metaverse somewhere. There, Quasimodo, he was getting hit on by more girls than he could count, right? DMs, dating apps, social media, real life, whatever the case is. Quasimodo is gonna be like, damn, I'm the shit, I'm that dude, I'm that guy. He's gonna think that. Why? Because he has reaffirming evidence. He's getting reaffirmed this every single day. But the thing about it is, that's really not the reason why he's getting hollered at, not because he's valued or anything like that. It's now we're still talking about this parallel universe somewhere in a far distant galaxy on some Star Wars type of stuff, right? But the reason why he's getting hollered at is just because the chicks want to smash. Now let's go into the real world. Back to life, back to reality. This is reality. Like 80% of the time, it's guys being thirsty for females. Let's just be cut, dry, and raw. That's what this channel is all about. It's raw. It's that I don't cut corners. It's guys going after anything that they can scrounge and just degrading themselves just for what? Just for some cat. Just for some cat. And I understand. I get it, guys. Biologically, we all want to be intimate with a young lady, okay? Biologically, that's what we're designed to do, men and women. That's how we procreate. That's how you came along. Your daddy went and hollered at your mama and she found him semi-attractive and it had you and your siblings. So that's natural. But where it takes a turn for the worse is when it goes into excess, when it goes into gluttony, and when it goes into just full on lust, unbridled, untamed, just thirstiness. And these guys are hollering at chicks, and we see this with a lot now with social media. It's because, let's be honest, guys have been thirsty since the beginning of time. I'm pretty sure in biblical times, some guy came out of his cave or whatever the hell, and he had his mules and his goats, and he went and hollered at the village, village thotty, you feel me, or whatever. And he and he hollered at her, and in all honesty, she was like a 2. We're still using the number system. But now with social media, it's getting even worse. Like I said, it's getting even worse because guys, a lot of guys that are thirsty as hell, they can just spam a chick's DMs. Guys, let me tell you something. Like I said, everything has degrees. I'm not saying that hollering at a chick is thirsty or getting in her DMs is thirsty. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, everything that I'm talking about is in degrees. It's polarity. It's not just one extreme to another. It's just like, oh, never holler at a chick ever in your life. No, I'm not saying that. It's just these guys take it to the 100. I've seen it with my own eyes where a guy will DM a chick that is literally, dog, guys, Lord forgive me, Lord forgive me. I'm just gonna say this about the young lady. Generally speaking, not the best sight for sore eyes. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. She was getting her DMs blown the hell up. I'm talking about the same guy just over and over again. A lot of you guys do that. A lot of you guys that watch the video, you guys do that. And don't even lie to me, because a lot of you guys, some of you guys watching have blown up a chick's D or are blowing up a chick's DMs about 10 times in the damn row. She ain't answered not one. She ain't even, she done passed up on all your offers to meet up and all that good stuff, but you keep going after her. See, and what that does is it's a chain reaction. It's an effect that now this chick is like, ah, man, I'm the shit. So now these thirst buckets, these guys that are thirst buckets are creating a lot of entitlement. And it's kind of crazy because these same guys, they're going to get pissed and they're going to run to these pill channels and they're going to binge on pill channels. And guess what they're going to do right afterwards? They're going to blow up a chick's DMs 10 times in a row. And now we have all these guys complaining about entitlement this and entitlement that. Well, where do you think that comes from? It didn't come out of thin air. See, if guys as a mass, as a whole, step back, which will never happen, by the way, which is not going to happen. It might. Never say the word never. It might happen in a far off time, no time near this one. But if guys took a step back and started respecting themselves and started saying, hey, look, I'm not going to keep degrading myself. I'm not going to keep being a thirst bucket and just lusting over every single chick and just pressing so hard on her that you done damn turned her to a damn pancake, how much you pressing up on her. And she can steadily keep denying you, steadily keep stringing you along. If even a fraction of guys started doing that, we would see changes. And see, that's another thing too. They are creating a culture of a lot of these chicks that ghost and flake and all that stuff, because you see on a lot of these pill channels as well that there's a lot of ghosting and flaking and stringing along. Why does that happen? Because a lot of these young ladies have an abundance. They have an abundance of guys to choose from because these guys just come to them. And these guys, like I said, it's not the fact that they come to them in the DMs or in real life or whatever. It's the fact that they're persistent after they've been turned down. and they still go after this chick. They're still offering her money, still offering trips and food and all that stuff, even though they've been getting strung along and they don't even realize it. So now what happens? It's like, once again, another analogy. It's like somebody that receives $1 million every single day. What the hell do they care if they spend 5 racks in one day? What do they care? They're about to get $1 million the next day anyway. Why would they care if they spend 80,000 on a car the same day? They'll drop that like nothing. They'll buy that like it's candy. Why? Because they're gonna get $1 million the next day. And this is an extremely exaggerated analogy, but once again, it's kind of the same concept. You don't value what you get for nothing. And a lot of these chicks get a whole bunch of attention and a whole bunch of admiration for nothing. A lot of these guys, the reason why they're thirsty and the reason why they're called beta and all that good stuff is because they get disrespected and they tolerate it. And guess what? They think it's normal. Like, oh, that's just, she's just feisty. She just wants me. And they keep going. They get berated and they keep going for more. And, think about it, you as a man, not even, like I said, this is just common human psychology. If you can get away with anything, you're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep doing it. Like if you walk into a store and you could just walk out with groceries and nothing happens, of course you're going to keep doing it. Boy, I'll be like, listen, if I could do that, look, I would be in the store stealing gosh darn protein, Bang energy, all that stuff, And why wouldn't you? Nothing's going to happen. The same concept with a lot of these guys, that how they keep going back to mistreatment and they don't say anything about it, no kind of backbone. And on top of them going back, that's not even the worst part. The worst part is they come back with gifts and prizes. Like I said earlier, a lot of these guys are offering. See, that's where the whole simp thing comes from. Okay. And there's no problem. I personally do not see a problem with reciprocating with a young lady that you truly love and that's truly pouring back into you, right? She is adding value just as much. I see no problem with treating her, right? But the thing with so-called simps and thirsty guys is they get treated like rat poop. They get treated like rat doo-doo. And they offer up everything, right? They'll offer up their last dime to go on a trip to the Bahamas or some crap with this chick. Once again, why would she change? Why would she want to change and do better? And as a result, a lot of guys get mistreated, not because of them, but because of the guy previous. Let me tell you something, fellas. A lot of times it's not even you. The main reason why you run into a lot of chicks that are entitled and think they're better than you is not even because of you. It was the guy before you. It was the dudes before you. It was the dudes blowing up her DMs 20 times a day. It was the guys that bent over backwards trying to do stuff for her and she didn't do anything for him. She texted him at 10 o'clock. Come pick me up. Oh, yes, my dear. Yes, my queen. And she ain't even offered him nothing ever in her whole entire life. Now you have to pay for it. So guys, just kind of think about that. Let me know what y'all thought. Peace.